Hello, hello. Come on in. My name is Balsam. I'm an independent consultant with Paparazzi, and I'm known as the Bling Gypsy. Today, we're going to be talking about how to create your own business cards, whether you're doing paparazzi or whatever other business you're doing, it doesn't matter, but how to create your own business cards on Vistaprint, okay? I get a lot of questions as to, where did you get your business cards? Who made your business cards? But I do them all myself. So even if you're not a graphic design artist, guys, if you follow these simple steps, you should be able to create your own business cards. So when I first started, our business cards were the regular standard card size. We have since gone to the small postcard style. Okay, these are 4x6s, but whatever ones you want to go with, these are a little more cost efficient. But we went with these because we do what we call blessing bags, where we put a free piece of jewelry into these little baggies, and we hand these out to advertise our business. Okay, so as a paparazzi consultant, you get a free piece with every 10 that you buy, and we use those pieces. Or if we have jewelry that we've had for quite a while that's not moving, sometimes we'll throw those in the blessing bags as well. Now, as far as the blessing bags, they get these from the Dollar Tree. If you go with clear ones, you get 20 in a bag, which is the ones I prefer because you can see everything better, but they haven't had those in a while. You get 20 in a bag for $1. If you go with the design ones, which to me is a little too busy, then you get 25 in a bag, so it is more bags, but I prefer the clear ones. They do come with the silver twisty ties, so they're good to go, okay? So I just did this video a little earlier, and I realized halfway through the video that I forgot to share my screen. So you guys couldn't see what I was talking about. So I had to delete it, and we're doing take 2. So here we go, guys. So today I am going to be showing you the basics of how to make your business cards, the do's and don'ts. We're not going to create the whole card. We're just going to create a sample just to kind of give you an idea of how to do it, okay? All right, so I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to leave it on so I don't forget, okay? All right, so we're going to go to Vistaprint, and I'm actually going to open up another Vistaprint. You can open multiple tabs up here on the top. Okay, and the reason I'm opening up a second one is I'm going to kind of cheat and copy and paste instead of typing. I'm not taking time. Well, this is the one we created earlier, guys, but we're going to recreate it real quick, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and when you go to Vistaprint.com, this is what the main page looks like, okay? So this is where your starting point is. Now, I will tell you to please create an account. If you've never used Vistaprint before, create an account before you start designing your card, okay? Because if you are in the middle of designing and something happens and you get distracted and you walk away, and for whatever reason, it doesn't, save your screen or whatever, if it exits out, then you are going to lose your design. It will time out, okay? So if you don't have a account created, they have nowhere to save it to, basically. All right, so do's and don'ts of the cards. You want to make sure that if you have a logo, obviously you want to use your logo, and then your picture. Now, very, very important tip about the picture is please make sure your picture on your business cards, on your Facebook business page, on your paparazzi website, whatever you have, Shopify, whatever, make sure that picture matches, okay? And I'll tell you why. Because if you hand out this business cards to somebody and they go to your website to purchase something, or they go to sign up, especially if they go to sign up, then you want them to be 100% sure that is you. If you have a different picture on here than you do on your paparazzi website, and she goes to sign up or he goes to sign up, and they don't see that same picture, they're like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't sign up. I'm not sure if that's her. Okay. So it's very important that if you change your picture, that you change it everywhere so that it matches. Okay. And then of course your logo needs to match everywhere as well. All right. So we're going to do this really quickly because I have to head out of here in just a little bit. But let's get going, guys. All right. So basically, when you're designing a card, the most important thing that you want to remember, even if you're not a graphic design artist, guys, I did not go to school for it. I'm self-taught. I ask a lot of questions. I YouTube a lot. So this is where I learned. But majority of what I've learned is from two good friends of mine that I used to work with at Walmart in the photo lab, Carl and Ralph. Okay. They are, like, I would say 90% of what I do now, I've learned from them. Okay. So they were a godsend. So the basic fundamental of design is you have to think kind of backwards. Okay. Because you would think that you would put your picture, your logo, your text. No, you got to think backwards. You got to think from the bottom. Basically, design is like layers. Okay. So you got your background, which in this case is black. Okay. So that's your bottom layer. And then your logo is another layer. Okay. Your text, I'm just grabbing stuff, is another layer. So everything is in layers when it comes to the graphic design world. Okay. So the main thing, the very first part you have to start with is your background, whether it's black, it's white, whatever it is, that's what you want to start with. Okay. Now, please make sure that your background is, you don't have to, but it's best if it's all one color, no graphics or details to it, because it gets too busy. You want your logo, your picture, your words to stand out, not the background. Okay. So you don't want these items to get lost in that background if it's too busy. Okay. So for me, I chose a black background. Okay. Just because I don't like white. Now you can use light pink, light yellow, whatever it is that you like. Just make sure it's a solid color. Okay. So if you want to do the regular size business cards, this is where you need to go. Okay. So click on business cards, and I use the rounded edged ones because when I first started, I used the ones that are like they have the little points, the rectangular, and I noticed after a while that they fray. Okay, these seem to last a lot longer. So the rounded corner ones, if you scroll down right here, rounded corners, that's what you want. Okay. Now, they do have, I want to back up for just a second. They do have different types. They have the standard, which is thin but not too thin. So if you're just starting out, you might want to try those. For me, they were a little too flimsy. I go with the premiums. Okay, they're a little bit more, but totally worth it. All right. So we're going to go rounded corners, and this is the main page. Now, if you look, they literally have 251 pages. Okay. There is like hundreds of card designs in here. Now you can just use what they have and fill out your information. But if you do that, just keep in mind that your card is going to look like somebody else. Because I'm sure you're not the only person that used that pink with the bubbles design, or that marbled looking back with the gold design. You don't want your cards to look like somebody else. That's why I design my cards from scratch. So basically, you can literally type in, like if you want your background to be pink, you can type in pink, hit enter, and it's going to show you everything that has pink in it. All right. You don't want to use something like this. That's too busy. You got all this. I mean, it's pretty. Don't get me wrong. It's beautiful, but it's too busy. You don't want the design to stand out. You want your logo, your photo, your text to stand out. Okay. So I wouldn't use something like this. I would use something more like this one. Okay. Now I'm going to back up just a second so I can show you one more thing. If you look here, each one of these cards, or most of them, have different colors. So like this card here, they showed it to you in pink, but you can click on yellow, and now all of a sudden it's yellow. You can click on that bluish gray or this grayish black color. It's not really solid black. This one here is definitely solid black. Okay, so that would be one that I would pick. Now, the very first thing I'm going to look at is this stuff removable? Because I just need the background. I don't need any of this, okay? So if you hover over, you can see how there's a blue square, which means you can click on it and then hit your delete key. And now it's gone, okay? Click on it, hit delete key, click on it, hit delete key. Now, you got your base. That is your black background, which is what you want, all right? So now we need to add the stuff on here, okay? Now I'm going to show you what our card, because I'm in the process of tweaking it right now. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay, so we got our logo, we got our picture, which we've added the green border, okay, because that's our branding color. Our tent's green, our baskets are green, our bins are green. And then we've changed the text from the pink to that green, okay? So then we got some text in white because you don't want everything in green. We've also added this Facebook shopping logo. And then I added this QR. This QR, for those of you that aren't familiar with QR codes, these are pretty cool. A person can take their cell phone and open up their camera and just hover over that, and it'll say bleep and ask them if they want to go to the website, the Facebook page, or whatever it is that you have in here. And they just hit yes, and it takes them right to your Facebook page. Okay. So before I had our website on the bottom. I don't get any website sales, guys. So I was talking to my upline, and she suggested that I simplify what's on here because we kind of got too much. Because she's like, is anybody ordering from your website? I'm like, no. Is anybody calling you? No. She says, well, maybe you should just simplify it. And I took her advice, and this is what I came up with. So I put shop $5 jewelry. Join us live every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I put our Facebook link, okay? So in order to get your Facebook link, guys, you can use your spouse's phone and go to Facebook on the browser, or you can do it on your computer, but you can't be logged in. And then you type in, like mine's the Bling Gypsy, and then you copy that URL that's up here and paste it on your card. Okay, so that's how you get this. Some people have like the facebook.me/ the Bling Gypsy. Mine is not. Mine's facebook.com/the Bling Gypsy. Okay, and that is actually the same link that I used here to create this QR code, which I'll show you how to do. But you have to have that HTTP // in front of it. Okay. All right. And then here's the back of our card, which I'm still working on. I'm not done with it. But it says want to do what we do. And then it goes into different things. And then here it has the starter kits. Now, I didn't create this graphic. I grabbed it from Google, but I'm thinking about creating my own graphic here as well, just because I don't want it to look like everybody else's. Okay. All right. So we are going to close this. I'm going to hit edit design. Just so I can grab, copy and paste from here. Okay, so the very first thing you want to do is you want to add your picture. Okay, so if you click on image, click on my computer, and I have all my stuff that I use on a regular basis under documents. And then you want to see, here's our new picture with the green border. So I'm going to grab that. Now, when you hit open, it puts it down here under recent images. Okay, you want to hold your your left mouse button, hold it down and drag it over here. Now you don't want to replace image because that will replace your background. You want to add it. Now, when they add it, it's going to randomly put it wherever. You're just going to kind of hold your left mouse button and drag it. You can hover over the corners and see how it switches to from a hand to an arrow, and you can shrink it or make it bigger, okay? And then the next thing I want to add is our logo, which is right here. Our logo was designed by our kid. He's an amazing graphic design artist, and he's also a photographer. Like me, I did photography for several years, wedding photography mostly. And he is now an amazing photographer. He does commercials. He does all kinds of stuff. So he's a cool kid. All right. So here's our logo. Same thing. You can size it. Now, when you're putting your stuff on here, you want to make sure, see that blue line that kind of creates on the top? It's telling you that these two pieces are level. However, if you look at the bottom, this one is higher than this one. So you want to make this a little bigger so that they match. Because I like to see this one's still a little bigger. I like to have them where they look like they're all one piece. That's good. Okay. So there's my logo. There's my picture. Now you can click on it and move it with the mouse by holding the left button, or you can click on it and use your arrows. If you're not steady with the mouse, then you may want to use your arrows. Then click on this one and move it right up against it. You want to make sure everything you're doing stays within these white dotted lines, okay? So I'm going to move that a little bit more. Okay. That looks good. All right. So the next thing we want to do is we want to add the text. So to add the text, you're going to click on text. You want to click on text and you want to add new text field. Now it's just going to randomly put it wherever. You're going to double click, or you can go over here and just type what you want to type in there. Now for me, I'm just going to cheat and grab here and copy and paste just to save time. Now, as you can see, you can't see the text because why? Because they have it in black. I want to change it to my green. And then of course that's way too big. So I'm going to click on this 20, which is the size, and you can either drag this bar or you can do the plus and minus. Now you can pull this blue dot, you can hold your cursor and pull it out. Like let's say if it was here, it would be like that. So you want to pull it out so that it all fits on one line. Okay, so we're just going to place that right there for now. Then I'm going to add another text line, and it's going to copy the same font and color, and you can change that. And then I'm going to go over here and grab the Join Us Live every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm going to paste that into this box right here. Okay, and as you can see, it's in 2 lines and it's in green. I don't want it all green, so I'm going to double click on it. I'm going to change the size. I'm going to bring it down some more. And then I'm going to change it to white. Click on the color wheel and then change it to white. And again, if you stretch this out, it will, oh, you know why? Because I have a space here. Let me delete it. There we go. It will fit all in one line if you wanted to. Now, as you're moving this around, see how there's those blue guidelines? It's kind of telling you, okay, this J is now lined up with that S on the word shop. Okay, so you can, it helps you. It's like guides to help you line things up. All right, and then I'm going to add another text message field, and I'm going to grab the Facebook link. And I'm going to paste that in here. And we're definitely going to make that, double click on it, make it smaller. Maybe not that small. Okay, and then I'm going to change the font. When you're doing your website, you always want to make sure that that font is very readable. You want a font that doesn't confuse people, like your C doesn't look like it could be a G. You want a very basic, easy to read font. That's too busy. There's one called Balloon that I like. This one. Okay, so you want something really easy, and you can use the arrows to move up and down and side to side, or you can use the mouse and just hold it and drag it. Okay, so I'm gonna make that a little bigger now. Okay, now you can play around with the fonts and the sizing. There's another thing you can do too, is if you click on more, it's going to give you options like to center it. You want to center it. Now it's only going to center it within that blue box. It's not going to center it on the whole card. Okay, so you still may have to move it around a little bit. But then if you do something and you don't like it, you can just hit this undo up here and it'll take it right back to where it was. All right, so use your guides, like you can see, and you move how those guides kind of tell you where you're at, those blue lines. Use those to kind of tweak your font and stuff. Okay, so at any point, if you want to say, well, let me see what this looks like. Okay, so this one I would probably center like that. You can hit preview, and it's going to show you what the card would look like so far, and then you can just close it. All right, the next thing you want to add is we're going to add the shopping logo. Now, when you do the logos, go to Google. Okay, so when you go to Google and you can type something like Facebook logos, and then you click on up here where it says images. And you want the transparent ones. So click on transparent. Now, even though they're listed under transparent, they're not always transparent. And I'm going to show you. So if we say, oh, you know what, I like this one, right click on it with your right mouse button, and then hit Save Image As. So we're going to name it Test Facebook 1, just so I can find it easier. Okay. So now click on Images, click on My Computer, and then we're going to type Test Facebook 1. There it is. Click on it and then hit Open. So now use your left mouse button and drag it over here. And you want to add, not replace, guys. And as you can see, this isn't really transparent. See those white corners? So you can't use that. Click on it, delete. All right, so you're going to have to go through and make sure that you find one that is truly transparent. Now, I know this one is because we used it earlier. I'm going to add it. And then we're going to size it down. Now, this is a Facebook shopping logo, so I'm going to put it next to my Facebook address, okay? The other thing we added earlier was the QR code, so you're going to go onto More, and then QR code. And this is where you need to put that HTTP, so it's HTTP //www dot, and then your Facebook, which is facebook.com/theblingygypsy. And then here I put like instructions. So see, right now it's a plain QR code square, and you can use that. Or you can put, like on mine, I put scan, comma, like, and follow. Because I want them to scan it, I want them to like my Facebook page, and I want them to follow. And you can see how it added it down here. So then you hit add QR code, and you can put that right there. Now, this isn't how I would design it. And the thing with this is you can go bigger, but you can't go smaller. Okay. Which is another reason I like the 4x6 size. Okay. All right. So let's just say, obviously, it's not what I'm going to use, but just for training purposes, this looks good. The next thing is you can add like a Visa's, MasterCard, American Express, like credit card logos. Again, you would have to find one that has a transparent background like this one. You'll know when you go to add it and it has white corners or checkered dots, that's not transparent. Okay, so you just have to keep looking until you find it. All right, and then you go to the back side. Now the back side, if you're just starting out, you may want to just do a plain, leave the back side plain because it is a lot cheaper. However, as you get going, you may want to add something to the back. If you do, you can don't do grayscale, guys, because if you're going to do it right. Do full color. Now, here's the issue with the back. They give you some suggested things, but honestly, I don't like any of them. Okay. There is, I thought there was a way to, and I don't see it. There was a way to copy the front. Yeah, and I don't see it anymore. Okay, so at the absolute worst is you can call them, save your design and then call them and say, hey, can you make the black, the back side of my card all black? And then just tweak it from there, okay? And they can do that. You can call them and just tweak it. All right, but for training purposes, we're just gonna leave it blank, but if you wanted to, you could delete all this and, just delete all this, call them, have them do a black background, and then design your back. But for now, we're just going to leave it blank, and we're going to hit next. And then it's going to show you what the front and the back of your card is going to look like. If it's something like you're like, I don't know, that's like, I need to bring that down or whatever, you can just hit edit, and it will take you right back. But if you like it, you're going to check that box and hit next. And then here's where you get to choose matte, glossy. I personally prefer the glossy. It's really pretty. Unfortunately, they don't gloss the back. The back will be matte, but they do gloss the front, which is the important part. So I prefer glossy. It's a little bit more. Actually, in this case, it's not. So the cards come in, you can get 100, but it's not really cost efficient to get 100. They come in a box of 250. But if you look, like your 250 is $14.49 versus $15.99, so you might as well get 500. I usually order 1,000 or two because the more you order, the cheaper it is per card, basically. Most of the time when you go to cash out, they will offer you, they give you 10 seconds to buy another 250 or another 500 at a discounted price, but not always. So, all right, so we're going to choose 500 for $15.99. We want to do premium, so that's going to bring it up a little bit because the premium is just a little bit thicker. It doesn't bend as easy. So if you can afford it, go premium and then hit next. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, okay. It's just taking its time. All right, and then here they're going to offer you all this different stuff. Just make sure that if you want any of this, that you check it, because sometimes, I'm doing different jobs and they have, the wrong information in there. And you can either add it or edit it, okay? Edit my image, edit my information. You can do that. But we're just going to go straight to the cart. And there you go. So this is the one we created earlier, and this is the one we just created now. Here's another trick too, guys. If you are designing a card, don't pay full price, guys. You can Google search to see if there's any coupon codes out there. But if you leave it in your cart, 9 times out of 10, if I leave something in my cart, then I'll get an email saying, hey, you left something in your cart, and I just kind of ignore it. And then a couple more emails, and then all of a sudden they send me this coupon code that is good for like 40, 50, 60% off. And that's when I buy it. Okay. But don't leave it in there too long, because sometimes they will delete it. Okay. So, and once, let's say we don't want this one anymore that we did earlier, we can delete that. Okay, so that is basically it, you guys. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, reach out to me. But I just wanted to do this video to kind of help you guys, figure out how to do your own business cards. Okay, I got a comment here. Hey, Nicole, how are you? Okay. Yeah, it's just for show purposes. That's all. But I appreciate that, honey. All right, guys. I love you guys. I will talk to you later. Bye.